Welcome back to No Nonsense. With me as always, Will Byrne. How are you?
I am. I'm believing, Kyle.
You're believing. You're believing. Are you believing that Manchester is blue?
No.
That's right, Will. Manchester is blue because what we were seeing now, Liverpool out title race finished. Chokers, jokers, frauds, fakes, bad players, 007s, 008s. It's the numbers rise by the day. Who's top of the league? Arsenal. What month of the year is it? October.
Yeah.
Get real. Who's banging goals like they're going out of fashion? Erling Haaland. Who's he play for? Manchester City. That's right. Manchester City are going to win the league. I didn't have to even say put your tinfoil hat on. I expect it to be on at this point, but it's already happening. Well, the league is already taking shape in front of our eyes. This is just a sideshow as to what's really happening. Pep, as always, a step ahead of everyone. He saw this pendulum swing back to long ball, big striker up front. What to do? He bought the best big striker there's ever been. Yeah. 4 years ago, and now look at them, unstoppable. So yeah, look, enjoy the win, but I mean, it's all over. We're right back to City, 1 year off, their worst year they've had in years, and they finished fourth, and now they're right back to just record-breaking goal scoring, league winning, possibly even Champions League. We'll have to see on that one, but yeah, that's what I took for the weekend, Will.
It's over.
Maybe I am insane, okay, but it's over. I saw that. I thought it's over. Our top league, fucking kill me. It's done.
Oh, great. Another routine win for Arsenal. We're doomed.
Don't tell me to score for a set piece. Oh, damn it. They probably practiced that in training and all. Damn it. Yeah. No, I'm avoiding it, Will, but just for the bit, really. It was a great game, the Man United Liverpool game.
Mm-hmm.
Not in terms of quality, but just in terms of storyline and drama and entertainment. It was an unbelievable game.
So it was a tough one to predict coming into the game because people were like, are United going to get hammered 10-0 or 7-0 again, or will they somehow get a result? Liverpool haven't been going great. But I saw a graph before the game and showing the last 5 Liverpool United games. Liverpool have only won 1 in the last 5. So even when United are at their worst, it's now become a game where it's like they just can't beat Man United though. So it was actually more of the same, weirdly enough, even though it felt like a totally new world.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because I had that suspicion, because you know the stat going around, that's the first time they beat Liverpool in Anfield since
2016.
2016. And I was like,
what? There's no way.
Right. And I was like thinking of maybe it was the cup games, and you're thinking, is it the league, whatever? I didn't look into it, obviously. I just was like, that can't be right. Oh, well. And then I kind of went on my day. But then I heard people talking about today, and they're bringing up how they drew with them last year. It's like, that's right. They did draw with them last year. And that was kind of in my head. It was like, it isn't that much of a fortress in terms of like, well, maybe fortress is the wrong thing to not call it. But it's not like they get beaten, 3-0 every time. There has been some like the 5-0 and 7-0, and it depends, I think, a lot on what stage of the cycle Man United are on in terms of the manager. Is it towards the end? Is it the bitter end of this manager?
The false dawn?
The upswing?
Yeah.
Is it the false dawn? Is it, whatever? But I mean, they drew last year to having lost 3-0 the previous game, and that was like the end of the Ten Hag era, the 3-0, and that was in Old Trafford. I guess it does kind of like track with Man United being worse at home, because the pressure is much more intense there, and you're expected to kind of attack or whatever. But now I haven't seen it yet, and not to say that won't happen, but I feel like there's no false dawn attached to this one.
Worryingly a new era, I think, for United, where the expectations have remained low. Normally things get out of control. I haven't seen that happen yet. It's like, okay, maybe they can push on. Because again, it's like, yes, 2 games won in a row. We've done it. It's like, that is like the lowest you should be shooting for. But because the expectations are so low, it really does feel like they could gradually actually improve, because kind of the pressure's off them a bit.
Yeah, I'd like to say now, if they were to go and beat Brighton, which I don't think they will, because
they never,
we discussed this, but an unbelievably bad record against Brighton of all teams. I'd say a worse record against Brighton than they do Liverpool the last 5 or 6 years. So I would be shocked, way more shocked if they beat Brighton. But it's just like, this was a game of like not a lot of momentum or positivity going into it. And they'll come out winners, and like that's all they're celebrating. Not like, yes, we gave them a contract extension. Finally, Cunha and Sesko linking up. It's like there's none that's like they won on the day and it's fucking sweet because they're better than us. That's the kind of feeling I'm getting from people online. But now, if they were to go and beat the next game, I think they'd be right back to like, oh my God, it's happening. We're back. And they would also be like much closer to the top four on that. Right now, they've won, but they're still, what is it, sixth?
They're like between 10th and 6th, yeah.
So there's nothing really to look at it. Like, if you were to, after that game, look at the table and then see United up in like third, like, holy fuck. But because of not, it's like, no, that was just one game. And the previous 7 games would lead you to believe that this is not working out yet. So it's a strange one where there's more kind of Liverpool reaction in terms of like, where are Liverpool going from this? And like, it never ceases to amaze me how many people you see afterwards just screaming down their phones on my For You page after these games. And it's always Liverpool fans who are just like, that was a disgrace. That was an embarrassment. It's like, they appear for these games and I never see them again. I'm sure people kind of like come and go, but like, unfortunately, I have to say, a lot of times it's Irish people.
Yeah.
A lot of like these.
We've got some market
Irish,
cornered. Angry Irish Liverpool fans, yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's because like, if you're going to the games, you can't be screaming on your phone coming down the concourse of the stadium. But they're like turning off the match and then immediately screaming at their phones. It's a real reaction after like, that was so bad. Yeah, because I don't know, we were talking about this just beforehand. It's like Liverpool fans seem to have this market corner too. Like Arsenal lose games to like Fulham and Aston Villa, and it's kind of like just we're just going to wallow in self-defeat here. They don't seem to go online angrily. They don't give out the things like, no, it's happened again. But yeah, different fan bases have their own kind of online personalities, which I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of this one. The Liverpool kind of reaction merchants, if you can call them that, which I guess is what we're doing here. But maybe anger merchants, is that a better way to describe them?
Oh yeah, I think it's the weirdest one as well. Is because like there's a few well-known ones, but there's just something about some of them where it's like it doesn't feel like it's for show. It's like these people actually are genuinely this angry about a game, again in a different country a lot of time. Whereas like, if sometimes you can see these people doing this. I think Goldbridge is one you see him playing the game, kind of. You're like, he doesn't believe what he's saying. He's just saying stuff. But again, I do think it's much worse when it's like genuine anger.
No, these people are really going insane. Like the United fan bases, you'll see them pop up in full studios.
Yeah, with Rio Ferdinand.
Sponsored content. Like sponsored ever. Like, whoa, who are these people? And they pop up every now and again where it's like maybe before a game, but like, yeah, we're going to batter City. They always come up after the game, wherever if they're, but they come up in full like finance studios, and then the Arsenal fans are just conspiracy theorists on X, be like, the ref fucking is a Tottenham fan. His mother was born on White Hart Lane or something like that. Like it's some insane kind of rant or cope after the game. It's yeah, but the Liverpool kind of anger reaction people, I don't see a lot of other people like that, and I think there is, like say, in terms of the insincerity, I think, of other people who pop up from other fan bases trying to be the anger thing. It's like, you're not I don't think you are that angry. You can tell the people who are actually using it and the people who think this could pop off, this could be a thing if I do this. So yeah, I mean, look, the best luck to them, is what I'm saying. Over the next few weeks, that's their 4th loss in a row now, has been widely reported. I don't want to say that I was right the whole time, because I could have said that last week and I didn't. I kind of backed out of it. It was a bit strange the way they were kind of, winning the last few minutes of every game. The Isak thing, this is what I think about the Isak thing, right? Like Ekitike comes in, he's banging goals. The Isak thing is kind of building in the background. Is there not any kind of wiggle room to say, listen, I think this Ekitike Wirtz thing is like kind of actually working pretty well? maybe we just say Gakpo was the backup striker, and then Chiesa can be the backup to Gakpo, and do we want to bring in a guy for the biggest fee ever? It's the British record fee, isn't it? Like, I mean, with the whole stuff happening in Newcastle, I don't think that's helped either. The whole kind of like, oh, you're a coward and you're burn your bridge. He comes into a team with the striker already doing well. Now you've rattled him. He doesn't start the game. Now Wirtz isn't starting the game. You got this whole Salah thing. I just think they've kind of fucked it a little bit,
Yeah.
The first few games, they weren't last minute winners, which is fine because, you got players coming in. That's just a bit of luck you need. Where it's like, eventually that would have got going and they would have gelled a lot better, and then they would have got, less and less late winners. It would have been just, winning in normal time. But because you throw the exact thing in the middle of that, then it set them all the way back and they haven't kind of progressed. Do you know what I mean? That's how I would feel about it. That's from the outside looking at it. But yeah, even the last day when Isak started Iktika on the bench, Wirtz on the bench, I was like, oh, they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what the rest team is,
Yeah, and I'd say Liverpool fans are probably pulling their hair out because it's like, it really felt like in the summer, it like sometimes you see transfer windows like this and people were saying it, it's like too much too soon, spending all this money, and it's like, I don't know what the plan is. It didn't really fully feel like that though. It felt like this is a team that won the league and now they're solidifying that like we are winning all of the leagues from now on. They're like, we're Real Madrid essentially, where we're just going to win everything, buy all the best players, spend the money that we've accumulated from winning so much. But it's just, it feels like it's done more harm than good. Like you said, the first few games where they're winning late and stuff, there's no control at all. Even when they were goal down against United there, the 70th minute, there was a moment where Gary Neville pointed it out. There was like 9 Liverpool players in the Man United box because they're like so desperate to score. But it's like, you're in Anfield, there's 20 minutes to go. Why do you have like the entire team trying to score at once? Surely if you just control the game, you will win.
Yeah, they switched to a 4-2-4 at the end there.
In 2025 is insane.
But it's just like, all right, like if it was the last minute of a Champions League, last 20 minutes of a Champions League final and you're 2 goals down, it's like, fuck it, like if we lose by more than that, doesn't matter. But it's like, you're at home to like a bad Man United side who are like mentally weak and everything else, whatever their ability, like they don't have much to go on this season. They're not like this kind of rock solid defense. Just let them make mistakes themselves. Yeah. Just play it normally. Let them make mistakes. You'll get 2 more chances. And to be fair, they got the chances anyways. I mean, the header from Gakpo at the end.
Yeah.
Now, look, it's one of those ones where it's like, when they switch the ball, switch the play, and they miscontrol the touch, goes over the sideline. You go, you fucking idiot. It is harder than it looks. Like that ball was whipped across, I think by Frimpong, who likes to fucking lash those crosses in. But as someone who's really, really good at football in Gakpo, you think this free header, I don't care how fast it hit in, direct that in the goal. Because he got a head to it, he didn't miss it. He didn't direct it in, and that was a huge chance. So they did create chances by doing that. But yeah, I don't know. I think they could have done the other way either. They could have just like this, just take a second here and let them trip over themselves and probably score an own goal before we even score. So yeah, there is a kind of a franticness to this Liverpool team, and I honestly think it's just, well, no, I don't think this. I heard this today that it's kind of like a Salah. They're moving on without Salah, but Salah's still there.
Yeah.
Like they brought in Wirtz and they brought in Frimpong, who they don't even see as a right back. They're not playing him as right back. Just like, oh, well, you're on the bench until Salah isn't there, I guess. Because he can play as bad as he wants. He's going to play, but we'll bring you on the last few minutes when we want everybody to attack at once. But like he's a replacement for Salah, but he's not getting to play because Salah's still there. And it's like, okay, Salah maybe they might phase him out next year. It's really tough. You got a guy who's 32. He scores all these goals. You think it'd be a crying shame to let him walk out the door, for whatever money. But in hindsight, it's like if you were smart, maybe you would have just said it doesn't matter. We've got everything we have out. We're selling at the top. We're not going to ride this to the bottom. We're going to Brighton, Frimpong. We're going to build a different team, a new team. But it's easier said than done. Like if whatever, like they had sold Salah and then brought in Frimpong, and then he, has like 2 goals in the first 9 games and isn't playing well. It's like, why'd you let Salah go? And like 2 goals the first 9 games is like what a lot of the top attackers have got this year. Do you know what I mean? It's like that wouldn't even be that bad. It's just that you'd be compared to Salah because he just left. So it was, it would have been a tough ask for anybody to come in and play in that position, having just sold him. But yeah, I just think the whole team seems a bit kind of unbalanced, and I'm not sure who misses out on this. Like Salah, the best paid player, Isak, the highest transfer in British transfer history, Ekitike, who's done nothing wrong, Gakpo, who's kind of the only person who on that side who is actually in the right position. I mean, you played 2 up front, but have Isak and Ekitike played 2 up front at senior level ever? And now you're chasing your tail because Arsenal are top, obviously, and then City are going well. So you have to like make, kind of running repairs and see if you can maybe change it around to fit all these attackers in. And then on top of that, McAllister's obviously concussed. Like he shouldn't have been playing yesterday, but they had to because they wanted him to. It's just it doesn't look good for Liverpool.
No, it doesn't look good, and I think we've seen this a bit. Like it happened rarely, but when they have lost under Slot, he isn't a great loser. Same as Klopp wasn't either, but like he is one for. I don't know if you saw his post-match press conference here, where he's like,
"Oh, I did."
It's always difficult to play against a team that defends in the low block, that mainly plays the long ball. But it makes it even more difficult if you go 1-0 down after 1 minute after a player of us is on the floor. And then I think if you would have told me before the game that against the low block, against the team that plays so many long balls, we would have created as much chances as we did, I would have not expected us to lose this game of football.
And then so it's like it's always the other team's fault. He said as well about Man United came here, they've been playing Sesko and now they didn't, and that's not the first time a team have done that against Liverpool. Which is like that is a very strange thing to. I don't know if he's complaining about it, he's just mentioned it, but it seems a weird thing to bring up. It's like, why should that impact you at all? That like Man United played a system with a worse setup up front, really, because they kind of thought something tactically that you weren't expecting.
Yeah, well, I mean, his first experience of playing Man United was Ten Hag, who knew exactly what he was going to do. He thought, this is great. This is easy. I know exactly what he's going to do. I don't know what he expected. Like, this is a team who's lost all the games. You're a team who's won pretty much all your games so far, bar the last 3. But in the league, you've done pretty well. Like, they're obviously not going to, is this like kind of some mad form of toxic masculinity, Will?
I don't know. It's very strange.
Come out and fight like a man, will you? You coward. Come on. Like, no. There's
run at us so we could beat you.
You cowards. Long balls and low blocks. Like, yeah, you're better than them. You're like, there's millions of pounds on the line here. We can't just, put on a good show here. We have to try and win this with our worst players. Like, most teams will do that against Liverpool. So I don't know if he's getting like, oh, this is Man United maybe. This is Manchester United we're talking about here, Will.
Yeah.
You can't be doing low blocks in Anfield. But I think it would just suit them a bit more if they came running at them. But I mean, yeah, maybe we're just thinking out loud. I don't know.
Yeah.
Kind of what I'm doing right now. It doesn't seem like something you would say.
Like even if he wasn't complaining about it, he was just talking about it. It was then clearly something that was on his mind that is like, that was annoying. We had planned for Sesko for the last 2 weeks and he didn't even fucking play him. Why would he not play him? It makes no sense.
Yeah, it was just basically thinking out loud and saying, yeah, they made it difficult for us, which is, exactly what you should expect. That's what, especially if a team is not as good. Like maybe a PSG or whatever will have their own game plan that you have to worry about. But if they're just like, like once you saw the team sheet an hour beforehand, I was like, yeah, they're playing Mount. It's like, all right, well, it's pretty obvious what they're going to do here, lads. You still have an hour to say to the team, like, look, it's scenario B. I know we've talked about scenario A a lot this week, but it's actually scenario B where they're going to put 11 men behind the ball and try and catch it on the break. So yeah, just do that instead of the first thing that we're going to do, which was like go toe to toe and batter them. I just again, he probably isn't actually complaining. He's just like word vomit onto the onto the report, he'd be like, this is all the things that go into my head and all the mistakes that I made and whatever. But yeah, just take a moment and kind of, think about what you want to say and say, yeah, look, Bessie won the day. That's on me. I think who played well for them. I don't know, you just say, I think Van Dijk did a great game or something, But, or say, I think Bradley did well. That's what you would do. You just kind of you'd sing that one of your players did well, and you'd say we made mistakes as a management team, and then you go back afterwards and say all those things. But yeah, he's not getting a lot of respect these days. I see a lot of people talking about Klopp more and more, about how it's like just it was a Klopp team. I see people saying once the Klopp muscle memory runs out, which I know is kind of like it's a real, it's not an actual someone's thesis about what's going on, but it's just that kind of like, all right, that is total bullshit, and it's like pretty disrespectful to be like, yeah, that was just the muscle memory of the previous side. It's like, what does that even mean? Do you know what I mean? Like,
well, one thing I will say is it probably doesn't help things when Klopp himself is going on Diary of a CEO and saying, yeah, I could see myself back at Liverpool in a few years. Who knows? Like, don't say that.
Do you think you could ever go back and manage Liverpool again? Is that within the realm of possibilities?
I said I will never coach a different team in England. So that means if, then it's Liverpool. Yeah. So, yeah, theoretically it's possible.
What would it take, theoretically, for you to want to do that?
I love what I do right now. I don't miss coaching. I don't. I mean, I do coach, but just different, not players. So, and I don't miss it. I don't miss standing in the rain 2.5, 3 hours, and I don't miss going to press conference 3 times a week.
That is one, now I will say in his defense, this was probably filmed weeks ago. I doubt Diary of a CEO has a quick turnaround. I'd say there's a lot of preparation involved in getting those clips ready and stuff. So this is probably weeks ago, but still, that really undermines the current Liverpool manager to be like, oh yeah, I could see myself back there. It's like, right, well, the only way that's possible is if Arne Slot retires as a Liverpool legend or is sacked. So it's one of the two you're expecting.
Yeah, well, he did say that he didn't miss any part of it. It's like, I don't miss the dressing room. It stinks. I don't miss all the fucking press conferences I had to do. He had the number of how many press conferences he had to do a week, which means he was counting them every week. He was like, all right, 12 down, 3 more to go. And then he was like, if you asked me today, I would say no. But the great thing with that is that, I don't have to make that decision today. I'll make that decision in January when Arne Slot is sacked. But yeah, it's not helpful. I don't know why he's going on Diary of a CEO.
The fact he's going on a show like that and is willing to even joke about the fact yeah, maybe I might come back. It's like, oh, he's angling to come back. Maybe not this year or next year, but he is setting it up.
Well, if there's any other manager who had a job as the director of operations at Red Bull, wherever he is, he was kind of out of the thing. And it's like, well, if he's going on a podcast, then he's like, well, he obviously wants another management job.
He's busy.
But he's in lots of ads. He may genuinely be just trying to keep the profile up. He might have an agent who goes, listen, Diary CEO, look at these numbers, look at these clips. You'll see this. You'll be back on Travago's next ad campaign, guaranteed. Christmas ads coming up. They're probably shooting now. This is the time to be seen. Again, I don't know when that Diary CEO came out, maybe a few weeks ago. I think it's just show business. He could have though said, listen, don't ask me about if I want to be Liverpool manager again. You can ask about Liverpool, but don't ask about am I going back. I don't want to talk about that. I don't know how Stephen Bartlett works. Maybe he says, you come on my show, I ask whatever I want. Some people do that. They don't give an option for no questions asked. So we don't know. we can't know about these things. But it does seem a bit... and again, he's not involved with Liverpool, but he knows that they've lost 3 games in a row. Sure, again, I don't know when this is filmed. So maybe the Times they're winning every game with last-minute winners. They're doing great. I can say that.
Can you believe Salah's still going so strong?
I already got a few assists. He's doing great. Yeah, I'll be manager when, Slot retires with 6 Champions Leagues, whatever. Who knows? The timeline, the context is important to these kind of things, but it's not helpful today for sure for Slot to wake up and see these clips everywhere.
Yeah, it's just poor timing. And I don't know, it was a pretty mad game for Liverpool, definitely, to see how far they're falling so quickly that again they're losing to Man United of all teams. But a real sign of at the end of the game, I sent the clip to you. What did you make of seeing Harry Maguire out on the pitch, tears in his eyes as the fans sang his name, after we said, what was it, a year ago, 2 years ago, we don't see him ever playing for the club again?
Do we say that?
Yeah, there's a clip of us, it's when Martinez and Varane were going well, where we were like, I just don't see a universe where he works his way back into the team.
Yeah, I mean, it's strange because he scores the goal, right? The winner. And it's the sound is like something horrendous has happened. It's like someone's been knocked out in the street. It's like the kind of like shocked gasping, but also like a bit of anger, but like too confused to be angry, kind of. I thought, oh. Yeah, and he wheels away, and he does the patented knee slide to the Liverpool fans and kind of stares them down, and then they're like, yeah, go fuck yourself, and he does the kind of, because I'm sure they've been chanting horrendous abuse to him all game, and I'm sure he gets that everywhere. I'm not saying that's just Liverpool fans. I'm saying I'm sure he gets it everywhere. But he's I'm gonna go over and give it him. Then he gets up and he walks over and stares down the United fans, and gives them, it's like, yeah, what are you saying now, kind of thing. And they're all kind of cheering, I guess. But
he's got a lot of enemies, I'm sure. A lot of people on his list still.
It's not so much kind of like, yeah, we did it. He's not like running the crowd like, shower me with attention. He's just kind of staring at them being like, yeah, that's right. Big H again, bailing you out. And then, yeah, at the end, he's in tears. It's. I mean, look, if he hasn't already, he's got to, position himself to have a mental toughness seminar career after this. Like he's got a rock solid constitution. I mean, so many times he's been down and out, and like properly, like he's not going back from this. And time again, he comes back and scores goals, and he's disrespected by everybody. I mean, I don't know, was it after the game or after the goal? Was Peter Drury was like, Harry Maguire had his famous forehead. I was like, even as like an English media, like if that was an Irish person, we would like back him to the hilt and like, okay, whoever, we're not as good, but like England haven't won anything either. Do you know what I mean? So like back your own even. But it's just he's constantly being made fun of, constantly disrespected, and he comes back time again, and he obviously wants the attention and the love, the affection, I suppose, of the crowd, not the attention. He was crying at the end, tears in his eyes, were singing his name. I don't know where he stands, because like if someone better was to come along, if there was a 27-year-old version of a Virgil van Dijk came along, and all you had to do was sell Van Dijk, like all those fans singing his name would like drop him in a second. Do you know what I mean? They don't actually have any, real like lasting love or respect for him. It's just like when he scores a goal, it's great, but other than that, get him out of my club.
Yeah, and I mean, like even before the game, a good example is a lot of United fans when they first saw the lineup were like, "Oh, for fuck's sake, Maguire and Lit at the back, fuck me! Like, what's the point of Euro and all these young lads are not going to play him?" And then Amorim said after the game, "It's like, yeah, we were hoping we might get a goal from a set piece because that's what Maguire's good at. Like, he does a lot of it." So I don't know. It was crazy to see, and as well, like you said about him being disrespected. I mean, all the memes after he scored, like him as Ronaldo or Ronaldinho and stuff like that. Like, it's funny. Those memes, I've seen them so much times now because he scores so many big goals. But it's like after a certain point, it's like, this isn't really like a funny, mad thing that I can't believe. It's like this is actually what he consistently does. He's pretty fucking clutch in big moments. Like he's scored a lot of big goals for Man United now.
Yeah, but it's the content economy as well. Like those initial photoshops were done by meme pages. But the first time it happened,
yeah.
And it's an easy post. You just rehash it out again. Now you look at Maguire scores again. It just becomes this kind of thing. It's like it's the context of like he's done this a few times. I was like, nah, it's the Photoshop's made. The post is ready to go. So we're just gonna stick it out. So then the kids or the teenagers who are looking go, yeah, Maguire's bad. Look, he's a joke. It reinforces it. Do you know what I mean? Because the joke has already been made. He'll never win them over at this point. So I'm saying, do you know what I mean? He's never going to become good, unlike Frank Lampard as a manager. You know, he's stuck in this. He's not good, and okay, he does have limitations. I'm not saying that he actually is good now. I mean, I don't think he's the best player in the world, but it's just you'll never claw back any bit of like respect. I guess you won't be like, all right, maybe you weren't as bad as you thought you were. It's like, no, he's a joke now, no matter what he does. Like, I just thought his famous forehead. It's like he's a professional football player. You know, he was referring to Slabhead, like old Slabhead, which I think was a name Jamie Vardy gave to him, a guy who definitely probably bullied him. You know,
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
That's a bullying nickname. That's not an affectionate nickname. You know, it's just. Yeah, I just find it mad, and I'm just such a lesser man than he is. I would have left for West Ham so quick. I mean, thank fuck, get me out of this shithole. This shit club wasn't winning anything. Fuck this bastard and fan base doesn't respect me. You know, that's what I'd be saying. But yeah, no, fair play to him, and he scores another goal. And like it wasn't just like that wasn't the fourth goal. It was like to win it. It was the winner. It's just insane.
He only scores the biggest goals, the most important goals. He has about 7 or 8 of them under his belt now in the last 2 years.
Well, I don't know what 7 or 8 of them. Surely not 7 or 8 of them. He's got maybe 3.
He scored a lot of big goals.
Okay. Well, I'd say we got the one in the Europa League. I would say that was the famous Harry Maguire commentary. You got that one.
He scored, I think, 6 goals last season.
They weren't all last minute winners.
It's not like Man United were controlling many games last season, though. Do you know what I mean?
Look, you're only saying this because you know I'm not going to check it up. So I'm going to give up eventually. Go, yeah, maybe. I'm not going to check it up. But I
Come on.
I don't think they're all last minute winners. He definitely last I don't know 10 games. It feels like he's been put up top to get a last minute winner. He's kind of always
Yeah, I mean that's his job now.
Well, that's what I mean. I guess maybe that doesn't help with the whole respect thing. That you're not even classed as centre back. You're kind of like a battering ram to get up there and. But he started this game. I don't know. You kind of feel bad for him. Even when he does something good, it's like he's this kind of object of ridicule. It's like, damn, like is it worth it? Is all the money in the world? Like he's probably not going to go at the World Cup now either. He's fallen down the pecking order a bit. It's just, he's done as a, I don't know. It's tough.
I've looked it up here, Kyle. Harry Maguire's last 6 goals for Man United. The 84th minute against Liverpool, 47th minute against Ipswich, the 89th minute equaliser against Grimsby, a 93rd minute winner against Leicester, the 121st minute goal against Lyon, and then a 91st minute goal against Porto.
All right, so he's got what I thought, 3 or 4 of them, not 7 or 8 of them. I mean, you were kind of doubling the number there a bit.
That is a lot, though.
Yeah, it is a lot, but that's me. You don't need to over exaggerate it. It's a lot. You don't need to say 7 or 8 when it's 3 or 4. Listen, I'm the guy who said he's being disrespected here. I don't know how we managed to disagree on this, but he had a good game. I guess that's the biggest thing for the United fans and the lack of a false dawn. It's like that they weren't actually that good. They didn't play that well. It wasn't like there was the back three was starting to really function or anything. It was a lot of chances for Liverpool smacking off the post, which kept them in it. That miss by Gakpo, he'll think about that for a while. I'd say. Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing I suppose was that Salah had another bad game. That's what I keep seeing. People are like, he's done, he's finished, but like he's not finished. He's got like a 3-year contract. That's the problem.
Yeah, it's so funny because it happens all the time in football. We spend all last season saying like, you've got to you'd be mental not to give him a contract. He's scored 1,000 goals. My God, what are they doing? What's the holdup? And then, the second he signs it, he kind of starts falling off. It's like, why the hell did you do that for? Can you not think at all? Of course this was going to happen.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's blaming Liverpool. I don't think anybody's saying, you shouldn't have signed him up. I think it's more kind of like, what do you do about it now? Like, yeah, okay. I don't think people are saying he's not trying or that. Maybe they are. Again, you can find anything you want to back up your opinion, but I think it's more the construction of the team is what's getting people. It's like, why did they buy all these players if they didn't know how they were going to play them? You know, like if you wanted to move on and get Isak and Salah or Isak and Frimpong and Wirtz and build a new team, grand. But then why did you keep Salah? You know, and if you thought Salah had 3 more years in him, then why did you get players to sit on the bench? You know, and then not use them and not start them? It just seems like what was the plan here? Or was there a plan? Like, what's the disconnect between who's buying the players and what Slot wants to do? You know, is he in charge of that? Or is he just giving players to work with? I mean, I think people are just very confused by it and then a bit annoyed that, like, you know, there was a good team there was good players available, but they still managed to mess it up somehow.
Yeah, it feels like it's just, I don't know, especially when you're so used to it with Liverpool, where it's like they really did not make any wrong decisions for, it felt like, about a decade there, where, from the Coutinho money on, they were just looking perfect in the business. But it's just, I mean, in the space of 2 months, like, there was a lot of weird choices. Not necessarily, even at the time, some of them that happens, like, yeah, I could see that. But yeah, in hindsight, you look back and it's like, well, again, these are all things that I think, you know, 7 or 8 years ago or whenever they started getting into gear, that they wouldn't be doing. They'd be like, no, like, say Isak. The second Newcastle say 150 million, I would say a few years ago they go, right, well, we're not getting Isak. That's ridiculous.
I think the starting team for that for the best years they had, it did kind of pick itself, and then there was like these willing kind of substitutes that would come on, like from Shaqiri to Origi, Lallana, you know, all these players that would, like, yeah, they're really good players. Obviously not as good as Salah or Mane, and they know that too. You know,
that's why it works. Yeah.
so like they would just come on and they would score big goals. They'd just be like, they'd feel like they're part of. But I do think that was I don't know, genius is maybe a bit strong, but that was the biggest strength of Klopp, that he could bring those players with him and say, hey, you're part of this, bud. Like, you are just as part of this as anyone else. And maybe he believed that, but they certainly did. You know, that they were like, yeah, we're part of something here. We're going to win stuff together. And they did. Whereas, like, if you're like, right, Gakpo, you're on the bench, or Ikitike, you're out, Isak's in. Now, I know that's what's happening, but, you know, I just think of, you know, Ikitike pulling off his shirt and pointing to the name. Doesn't strike me as someone who's like...
He's not doing that because he's chill, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like he's part of it. He's like, I want to start. My name on the back of the jersey, me, you know. And that could be a personality thing as well. But, you know, nevertheless, it doesn't seem like there's a cohesive kind of a group now that's like all working the same way. It's like, God, I hope I get to start this week.
Yeah. Yeah, it's rare. It doesn't pan to the bench and it shows Wirtz, and he has, like, you know, he's laughing and joking it up with the others. He looks like he's the weight of the world on his shoulders. He looks like, again, there's 120 million hanging over his head and he's sitting on the bench.
Yeah, and I know, like, 007 stuff is funny, and we got a good bit of stuff out of it, to be fair. We milked that cow dry. But like, when he came on, he was good. Like, he is a good player. You can see that he's a good player, and he's
just unlucky.
He was creating chances, and they just, like, was like, you know, falling to Curtis Jones or Kays, or fumbled a couple, like, you know, coulda, shoulda, woulda, didn't. If they had scored that, then that would have been an assist or whatever. He's obviously not, you know, banging goals like Stevie G, which, you know, would be nice for 120 million, I suppose. But yeah, I think he's a good player as well. But it's just kind of like, you know, he's very good. Salah's very good. Isak's very good. Ekitike's very good. Can they all bet together? You know, or does someone have to stay on the bench? And in which case, who misses out? I just don't think that's. You know, because Salah will look at Wirtz and go, I'm better than him. And Wirtz will look at Salah and go, I'm better than him. Now, they're different players, but, like, it's not kind of a natural hierarchy where it's like, no, to be fair, like, you know, if I get 20 minutes today, I'll be happy. You know, they both think that, like, you know, do you know who I am? So it's I don't know if it's going to work out, but I mean, Salah's not going to leave in January, like, is it? He's not going to leave the money on the table, go to Saudi Arabia, like.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, yeah, it's. In the past, it'd be more a case of like, no, well, that's him locked up. Who can afford to even take him out of his contract and stuff? But I do think with Saudi Arabia, it's like anyone can really leave at any time. Do you know what I mean? Like, because the money's always going to be there. So it's just like, if you've had 6 months where, like, if Salah's on the bench in December And then Saudi Arabia are like, we'll give you €1 million or dollars, whatever you want, a week tax free. He might just be like, yeah, do you know what? Fuck it, it's over here.
Yeah, but you need to be on the bench. Like, he's not dropping him. Like, he played so long in that game and he had chances. The Chelsea game, the last game, that should, any of the players dropped after those chances that he got and just like completely did nothing with them. You know, like fucking Harry Elliott back in the day, if he gets the start and does that, you're gone, pal. You're never getting a start again, not for 6 weeks. But it's Salah, so it's like, but he could score.
Yes, he could. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of people. I know I was one of them. I didn't take him out of fantasy because it's like, oh, he's playing Man United. Like he could score at any time. Even now, I should take him out, but I'm still like, he could score 4 goals next week.
Maybe next week would be the revenge week. You know, that's like I had Gakpo for a long time, and then he scored a goal last week and he scored a goal this week, and he could have had 5 goals. You know, against Man United.
Literally.
But it's like, yeah, they are all good players. Like, it leaves me alone if they will score. It's you know, week to week, there's a lot of pressure on every game. Like, you're competing with Arsenal and Man City, who aren't going to lose many more games themselves. So it's like, you know, you can't just afford to let lads score eventually. You know, if there's better players on the bench that are going to play in a better system, then that's why you get paid all that money if you're Slot, to figure that out quickly, you know, and get results quickly. So I just don't think there's time for Salah to you know, figure out these new players, these new young crazy Germans. You know, what are they up to? You know, Kirk is another one, but people like are just hammering, and I don't know if it's always in the best faith. I think some of it is people who are just piling on because like, yeah, this will stabilize them. You know, but
I did feel for because it, like, again, people are piling on, and it feels like sometimes there's something in the world where, like, if a player's getting piled on enough, incredibly unlucky things will start happening to him. It used to happen to Maguire. I remember it used to happen to Phil Jones all the time.
two greats of the game.
Well, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
of like, they were
yeah.
like widely mocked, and then mad stuff would happen during games. That's just like, that's like a cartoon almost, how bad that was. Kirkes getting the ball lashed directly at his face, almost into an own goal. That's just the type of stuff that's like, when things are going against you, they really are going against you. You'd never see that happen usually.
Yeah. I think it was Redknapp at halftime was like, he said he's like a lost little boy out there.
If someone said that to me, I'd fucking slap.
Someone who's not even your boss, like someone who's just like, yeah,
Some guy. Some guy
I'm
on
watching through the
TV.
window at work there in the office. You're like a lost little boy in there. I don't know what you're doing, do you? But like, I've then seen that people are putting that in comments all the time this week because it's something that people are like jumping on, like, yeah, that does thing. That thing's me. It's something about me, you know. And I've seen the Van Dijk stuff now. It's like, best defender ever in the Premier League. He's not better than Vidic. You know, he's not better than Jaap Stam. Just like, as soon as he has a bad game, it's like, this guy's finished. I think it was actually Roy Keane after the game was saying about, he's supposed to be the best. I was like, come on, Roy. Like, that is internet fucking fair. You know what I mean? Like, he's not the best Premier League center. It's like, he's 34. He's been doing this for like 10 years now. It's like, he's had a bad game. I've never seen Vidic have a bad game, ever. Which is, just as a side, that the Vidic thing is like it's a bit mad. Because like, when he was playing, it was like, yeah, he's a great player, but like, as time's gone on, it's like, you know, he won 2 Player of the Years. You know how good you have to be? It's like the kind of like pushing Vidic back up that kind of Premier League greats list, you know, which was kind of reserved for, let's be honest, English players for a long time. They kind of said, yeah, Tony Adams, John Terry, yeah, he's a racist, but he's a great centre back. You know, they kind of, the media would kind of really focus on English players as centre back. Sol Campbell, another great player. You know, no, Vidic wasn't really getting a look in. But yeah, and in recent years, the kind of Vidic campaigning has really reached new highs, and every time I see Van Dijk playing, Vidic will be mentioned.
Yeah, I do feel like Vidic, more so than anyone else, does feel like it's people who were not old enough or weren't born when he was playing. Like, it does, more so than many other players that you see people talking about. It's just like, the way he's spoken about, it's like, I was watching him week to week. I loved him, but I was like, he's not this guy you're talking about.
Yeah. Because I don't know, maybe they had Ferdinand for a while. It was Ferdinand versus Van Dijk. But I think, and
Ferdinand's gobshite, though.
Yeah, and it shouldn't have any bearing, but it does. You know, Vidic is not on TV.
Well, there's no way that fella's one of the best defenders of all time. He's a fucking idiot.
With like bad takes, or like he talks in like Gen Z slang. I see some of his tweets and it's like Gen Z slang, whatever, and then people just post like a picture of Rio Ferdinand. It's like Rio Ferdinand, 45 years of age. So, you know, so that kind of, and again, it shouldn't have any bearing on how he was a footballer. He was a great footballer, he was a good defender, but people, maybe we'll focus on Vidic instead, you know. And then I heard Yap Stam this week because I was like, oh, come on now, Yap Stam.
No one that's tweeting was watching Yap Stam. I'm not having that. There's no way. What age are you? 40?
But like, and it's tough to accept, but like time moves on as well. Like, I mean, the mid 90s, you know, was a long time ago, and the game does move on and it becomes more professional. And it's not that it was better or worse or whatever, but it's just like you can't compare different eras. Like, you know, comparing people who were great in the 60s and 70s versus someone in the 90s versus someone now, it's like three different things. Like, you can't really, it's not fair to anybody to compare that, because, you know, say the professionalism wasn't the same before, but then the pitches and everything is better now. So it's like, you know, how does that, you know, pay off against, like, the pitches that Yap Stam was playing on were not the same here. Would that make him better or worse? Like, you don't actually know. Do you mean if he was...
Well, like we mentioned on the last Patreon episode, where the quotes from Steven Gerrard, where he's like, Paul Scholes would be the best midfielder in the world right now because the game is so suited to him. And Steven Gerrard was like, I would not be good now because I can't kick anyone. Whereas like back then, I could kick people.
Yeah, which again is maybe a bit of humble.
He's understanding
because, you know, you media gigs and management gigs and all that stuff. So yeah, even the people who played with them, you're not even sure what thing is. So yeah, you're bringing up Van Dijk versus Rio Ferdinand or Vidic. That's why I think people are like, not. If they really thought it was a false dawn, they wouldn't be talking about Vidic. They'd be talking about, we're back, we're going to win the league, fuck Vidic, you know. So they haven't got carried away yet, but we'll see. If they were to beat Brighton, it might actually be a moment, because that would be huge.
I mean, yeah, 3 games on, like, to turn it around, like, that is essentially, you have started turning it around, which, I mean, a few weeks ago, that did not look physically possible.
Yeah. One more thing on it. I would say I was impressed by Cunha.
A few things with Cunha. One thing that most impressed me, one of the most creative moments of shithousing I've ever seen is him stopping Liverpool from kicking off a quick free kick, because I think Szoboszlai or someone was down holding their ankle, and he was like, no, your friend is hurt, you can't play.
Yeah, I think he was like trying to pull something of like, there's attention's coming on the pitch. You're trying to fake out the physio to come on the pitch, I think, or something. And then it was like, oh, no, they can't, like, yeah. But even just, I think, is on the ball in this hold-up play, like, he wasn't, it's not about goals and assists, folks, you know. Look, we all have a bit of fun with 007s, all right? But it's not about goals and assists. You know, I just thought he was like someone you would like to see on your own team. Do you know what I mean? He was very strong, he was very calm, holding the play, you know, running with the ball when he needed to. Like, you're just doing the kind of dog work that doesn't really get the highlights. But I was like, yeah, no, he is a good player. And I wasn't really sure on him, because I was like, I don't know if he's worth the money. You know, the guy who fights people from Wolves, really, you know. But maybe he's more than that, Will.
Could be. I think if this is the start of something and not just another false down, I do think it'll be down to Cunha and Mbeumo, and also just having a bog standard middle of the road goalkeeper back there who just can catch a ball and then can kick it up the pitch, and he does it over and over again. That's like, it's so much different to watch. It's relaxing when he has the ball.
Has there been a player more unlucky in terms of timing than David De Gea, when you think about it?
I know, yeah.
Like, came along right after the Spanish golden era. It was exactly like all those other 3 goalkeepers, but just a bit young. And then, you know, hey, you can move your feet, David, can't you? It's like, not really. I'm a goalie. It's like, well, everyone else can, you know. And then as it comes back into fashion, he's been cast aside. He's yesterday's man. It's like, yeah, just a goalkeeper who can stop the ball. It's like, well, they had that, and he's still playing professionally.
I think he's doing quite well as well. I think he's like, maybe he was Fiorentina's player of the season last year.
And then don't forget the whole Real Madrid fax debacle, where he he was like one fact away from 5 Champions Leagues. That's insane. Like, wasn't it your man? I can't even think of his name. I just remember he was on that football lookalikes Twitter. The Colombian guy. It's like he looks like he's won a. He looks like he's won a presidential.
Yeah, I know.
Race where there was no other candidates. He looks like a dictator. What's his man? The Colombian guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, Courtois obviously was a great keeper, but they had some keepers who were as good, if not worse, than David De Gea during that run. I think he would have won at least
one treble, maybe.
I don't know if they ever won a treble, that Real Madrid team, but they won a lot of Champions Leagues, and he was one fact away from it.
That is like an example of possibly the worst timing. This Lamens fella, maybe the greatest timing in history for him. Because again, like I said, he's just a bog standard good keeper. Doesn't do anything mad. Seems pretty chill. Well, like he's not a mad character or anything. But that is just exactly what United fans want. And it's to the point now where, I mean, he made one, again, bog standard save, and the camera panned immediately to Schmeichel in the crowd.
Schmeichel, oh.
But you know what I mean? It's just like this average guy has come in, but it's just because the last two were so bad and were just so like unreliable that this guy is like the greatest goalkeeper of all time coming into the club now, the fans feel like.
Yeah, it's where the expectation is. Just don't do anything stupid. If that's what
it's nice. I could see why the likes of Crystal Palace fans like it, where it's just like, it's nice just going into every game being like, look, we'll see how today goes.
I'd say Crystal Palace fans have a bit more expectation these days, but yeah, I get your point.
Yeah, but the past Crystal Palace, I would say.
There was other stuff going on, I suppose. That was the main thing, I would say. Arsenal obviously won, as I mentioned, top of the league. Not good. Not good stuff. Too early. Way too early. City continue their rampage. Another 2 goals for Haaland. Is it 11 and 8 he has? Something disgusting like that?
Something like that, yeah. I mean, like we said, it's more suited to him than ever now because Man City are allowed just kind of lump it to him and long throw it to him and don't worry about the system. No one cares about the system anymore. No one fucking talks about that. So, I mean, it's all set up to even, it doesn't matter if they're a one-man team. Great. That's all you need, really.
I'm not sure, like, there hasn't been any kind of rule change, has there? This just kind of happened over the last year or so. Just everyone's decided we're going to do long throws, we're going to do corners, and it's going to be just,
To be fair, I think kind of Arsenal started the trend where teams were like, you can actually just like really get good at corners and that'll guarantee you like 10 extra goals a season. And I felt like people had lost track of that. It's like, yeah, but what about the possession? What if from the corner we turned that into another 20 minutes of passing the ball around? So I think, to be fair, Arsenal kind of kicked it off, but yeah, it just feels like a skinny to baggy jeans change more than anything.
Yes. I think it was that the Brentford game, which I think there was a PGMOL apology for that, the offside, but it was like Brentford kind of bullied Arsenal a little bit and lumped it long, and Arsenal had probably 60% possession, but just backwards and sideways, couldn't break them down. And I think that's when like the genesis of that was like, maybe we should learn how to do something different. Yeah. And now it's just, they've gone Jinkos on it and they're only doing that. The only way they know how is getting the ball in the box, and everyone else has seen like, maybe we can do that too.
I feel like it was that game, it was the Arsenal-Newcastle game where that was where Arsenal decided like, fuck this, we're going to be Newcastle. If they're allowed, why can't we? It was those 2 games, and also I feel like it was the Arsenal-City game. That, remember, it was 0-0 and I don't think there was a shot and it was just passing. Both teams passing it sideways for 90 minutes. It felt like the whole world was like, okay, this is the end result of this tiki-taka system we've been watching for so long now, and it's awful.
Which I know the City players came out like Slot and were saying, this isn't football. They meant to attack us. That's not fair. You can't just sit back. Yeah. We're better than you. Come at us. And now they're all just kind of... But I guess like if someone does low block, it's very hard to kind of pass around them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's funny because when Liverpool had the 4-2-4 and they were barreling towards United and had all the players up in United's box, it was because United had 5 lads at the back. Well, 10 lads at the back. But because of that, it was like, well, we can't cut through their midfield, which we were planning on doing, because all their midfield is back there.
Yeah. So I guess it just makes sense, I suppose. If it's a way around the low block, then the bigger teams will then start to do that. Maybe the bigger teams, but the ones who face low block will look for a way around it, I suppose. So yeah, City won their second, Arsenal first. They must be playing each other soon enough, are they? Usually. I think all teams play each other twice, is it, Will?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Home and away? Yeah.
Home and away, yes. Except for in La Liga, where it's home and maybe one game in Miami or something.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, people love it. Will, the big fan of this nonsense.
It is funny because I had never considered that aspect. I think Barcelona are playing Villarreal in Miami, and I can't remember what player. It was a Barcelona player who was saying like, it does seem unfair that Villarreal's home game is now taking place in another continent.
Yeah, well, that's what the NFL was like. The what was it Steelers, Pittsburgh Steelers,
Steelers in Dublin, yeah.
That was their home game of that round. So, your home game is you get to fly to Ireland and fly back and then play an away game probably in fucking the other side of America or whatever. So, like, I guess it works if there's enough money involved, Will. I think that's the moral here. And that's where La Liga seems to go on. But it's not surprising La Liga is trying these mad methods. When they're looking at the money in the Premier League, you have to do something,
Exactly,
So,
yeah.
it'll only get worse, is what I'm saying. Every team is going to start doing these mad schemes to try and compete with the Premier League money that brings players like Isak and Wirtz to sit on the bench at Liverpool. It's really unfair.
There was talk a few weeks ago during the international break about how Man United are lining up a mid-season friendly against like the Saudi Arabian League All-Stars as a money spinner, but it's like that's probably going to be as profitable as a run in the Champions League. So like give it a few years and teams be like, don't worry about Europe, we'll just play 5 games against the Saudis.
Yeah, and then if there is too many games, like they will just say, look, there's no room for a friendly, just play one of the actual games. And they'll
exactly
start with an FA Cup game in Saudi Arabia, or something like that.
I just looked it up there. Man City played Arsenal a month ago. Remember Martinelli with the last minute equaliser.
In Arsenal? In the Emirates?
It was on the 21st of September in the... where was it? Yeah, it was in Arsenal.
A month ago today.
A month ago today that game happened.
Jesus.
Well, I looked... Here's a pop quiz. Did we talk about it on the podcast?
Oh, did we do an episode that week? Maybe not.
We did. I can tell you right now, we did. We have an episode on it. I'd say we have about 20 minutes on it.
Jesus.
It's the first thing in the title.
Wow. Well, I definitely said a slur on that one because that's the ones that get you. When you don't remember any of it, that's when you said something horrendous in there. So
here's how long ago it was. This will help you. It was the same episode as Players Who Smoke 11.
That seems like that doesn't seem that long ago at all.
No, it's only 4 weeks.
Maybe Arsenal haven't scored too early then. Maybe this is the perfect spot. Maybe the season's just going to drift into a win for Arsenal now.
That'd be nice.
That'd be sweet. But yeah, maybe it'll be Chelsea. Will they're on a bit of a run? They beat Europa League entrants Nottingham Forest 3-0 pretty easily. And they have a Europa League winning manager at the helm, I believe. So they must be doing really well, Nottingham Forest. Psych? No, they're not. I think it was reportedly 10 minutes after the game, where Marinakis barreled into the room and said, right, Postecoglou.
Fuck out of here.
I don't know what I was thinking. Getting you out of here. You're out.
I mean, I'm sure you saw the shot. An amazing shot of Nottingham Forest are 3 goals down. The camera pans to see. Let's see Marinakis' angry face, and it pans to an empty boardroom area where they're clearly gone to prepare the papers to sack the manager. Because why else would they not be there?
Yeah, no, they did it pretty much directly after the game, which does kind of say they already were going to do it. It wasn't a flip. What's it called? A quick decision. You know what I mean? They just said, right, that's it. Let's sack him. Even though it's Marinakis, they were talking about before the game and said, we'll see how this goes. And by halftime, they're like, yeah, this is done. This is done. And then straight to straight to the fax machine, Will, or wherever the room that has the machines in it that has paperwork for important things like this, and they said he's gone. And it was verbally agreed then with Sean Dyche that same day or the day after, maybe.
I believe so, yeah.
Which, of course, I mean, what other way would Sean Dyche agree other than verbally? In a gravelly verbal agreement. I don't know. I just think it's too early. I just think there's more there than Sean Dyche.
Like we said last week, it's Sean Dyche is a guy you get in to stop the rot, but the rot has been entirely on the boardroom's decisions in the last 5 weeks. But there's still a lot of season left. I'm not saying you have to stick with Ange, but I mean, you surely get an interim guy in for a month or two, and then, right, what do we actually want to do here? Rather than just, again, swinging wildly from a defensive, rigid football under Nuno to wild attacking, free-flowing football to all right, we need to shore this up, get Dyche in maybe. It's just crazy. Imagine being Morgan Gibbs White.
Oh, stop. I know it was Tottenham, it wasn't Real Madrid, as he said, but still, God, you must be thinking, why did I cave to those bribes or threats, Yeah, I think if you're getting, Sean Dyche in, or in yesteryear, it would have been Sam Allardyce. It's right, we have 20 games left. We're going down. We're not going to achieve anything. We're not, the season is done. They do, Sean Dyche's first game will be Europa League if he signs in time. It's they're knocked out of all competitions. The season is just a complete dumpster fire. Was it 8 games that Sean Dyche had? One of the shortest reigns ever, I think.
I think it was 8
I read that somewhere. Okay, it was a blip, but give him 3 more games if that's how long it takes to get somebody good in. Do you know what I mean? I know I'm being pretty harsh on a Hall of Famer here, Sean Dyche, but it's just kind of you're writing off the season. Look, Sean, please keep us up.
It's okay, I will. Easy.
And it's just it's so early on. It's surely there's more left in the season than that. There's say a Europa League campaign. There's not a ton of unbelievable teams in the league. I mean, maybe Europa League is a bit far off, having had such a bad start, but I just feel it's a bit premature. And there's still good players. I haven't they've lost all the players in the summer, and now they're just left with this skeleton squad. And I think there's still a lot to be positive about for Nottingham Forest, but they've pulled the trigger anyways, and it's Sean Dyche to try and keep them up in October.
Yeah. Now, maybe we're not giving Marinakis enough credit. Maybe he's looking at the lay of the land. He's saying, look, the rise of the long throw and long ball and lumping it and long, all this. Get the best guy in the world at it. You know what I mean? He's been doing this for years. He knows tricks that these other teams haven't even learned yet when it comes to lumping it long.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's got Chris Wood there. He loved that. That's music to his ears.
Yeah. I'd say he went, how tall is our striker?
I'm in. Where do I sign? Yeah, we've got big centre backs, big strikers, a lot of willing runners. It is a supercharged Burnley team, to be fair. And he does have experience in Europe. 2018-2019, they got the Europa League qualifying stage, which I think they played 8 games, and got through to the last qualifying round against Olympiacos, of course. Lost 3-1 in the first game and then 1-1 at home and went out. So didn't get to the Europa League proper, but he does have European football experience, with a good team. And this is a good team. So, yeah, maybe I'm being a bit harsh. Maybe this is exactly the right time to bring in Sean Dyche. But I feel if that was the case, he would have done that 8 games ago.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, it does absolutely reek. And we saw all the photos of them together and stuff. It does reek of Marinakis got his mate in and then it didn't work out. Do you know what I mean?
It was, he wanted to sack Nuno, I think. And he needed someone quick. Just to show your ex, yeah, look, I'm with someone straight away. It didn't take me a second. I'm good. I'm better than good. Look at this guy. And then you break up after a few weeks. You're just I never liked her. But I showed her initially those photos. She saw those photos on Instagram. It's that kind of pettiness, And now you're going with Sean Dyche, which I don't know. like a date for a wedding. I don't know. Look, I just need so I can't go stag to my brother's wedding. I need someone. But the whole thing doesn't seem like someone with a plan, is what I'm saying. You know, it feels a bit kind of, you know, jumping from one to the other. It's not good. And it's the kids who suffer, Will. You know, it's the kids like
it's the kids. Morgan Gibbs' wife. Yeah, little Chris Wood.
Young Chrissy, he's the one who has to suffer from this.
But yeah, even the fact that like it looked like the rumors were, yeah, it's either Sean Dyche or Mancini. It's like, right, well, those are different characters.
Mancini, wow. I thought he was managing the Saudi Arabian national team.
I'm not too sure, but I do. He was one that was batted around. I actually saw an interesting clip of who was it? I think it was Shay Given talking about when playing under him, and he was like, "Yeah, he was a lunatic." And it's like if he goes to Nottingham Forest, it'll be a disaster because him and Marinakis will tear lumps out of each other all day, every day. But that's what I mean. Like if it's like right, Sean Dyche or Mancini, it's like okay, but it should be one of them. It shouldn't be like again. It's like you're just throwing darts at a board of managers.
Two very different choices for sure. So yeah, best luck to Nottingham Forest and the rest of their season, which it could be the best thing ever, according to Will, or in my opinion, it could be just Dyche ball. Like we said, Europa League is happening this week for Nottingham Forest. As the Champions League. And you want to have all our Champions League and Europa League coverage. We do a bonus episode every Thursday. It comes out on Friday. So sign up for that, $4.50 a month. Get all our bonus episodes every week. So yeah, get on that. I think that was kind of it though, really, Will. I mean, I know there was a raft of other games, but who cares about that? You know? I mean, let's be honest, this is the only game that matters. This is the only show in town, really, when Man United Liverpool play. Although I feel it has been getting less and less important as the years gone on.
Oh yeah. I mean, those Gakpo goals or those Gakpo shots go in instead of hitting the post and Maguire doesn't score. Who gives a fuck about that game, really?
Yeah, we probably don't even talk about that much, do we? So yeah, look, as you mentioned, Champions League during the week. We'll be covering all that. Tune in for that. If not, we'll see you here next Tuesday. So yeah, have a great week. Best luck.
Yep. Good luck.
No, honestly, that is nonsense. Nonsense. All nonsense.
They say many garbage things.
You don't know what you're going to get.
This is a total, shameful, disgraceful piece of nonsense.
He was balls off it yesterday.
You'll learn a lot more if you listen rather than talk all the
Plenty of
time.
time, no problem.